Пусть люди, пусть организация обижается, но сейчас непонятные, все больше непонятных боев для меня.
I fought Cheeto. Like, why wouldn't you want? He said Merab and Umar could rematch. There's that. I don't know. Me and Sai, yeah, I gotta go get through Song.
Seemingly meaning 14th of June. Yeah. Arena's going to be 5,000 or 6,000 seats right in the front door of the White House. 100,000 people in the back where they're putting up 8 or 10 very big screens. What kind of security are they going to have for this?
It's gotta be insane.
Yeah.
New stunning updates from the MMA world have landed, but today's biggest shock isn't from the cage. It's the drama erupting from Donald Trump's latest announcement. Donald Trump's claim that there will be 8 to 9 fights at the upcoming UFC White House event has sent the MMA world into chaos, and Joe Rogan just roasted him for it. Rogan called out the nonsense, reminding everyone that there are only 8 UFC weight classes, so where is the 9th fight coming from? He even joked that Trump is hyping something he doesn't fully understand.
Wait, what were you just saying? I stopped you because it sounds so crazy.
Trump said there's going to be 8 to 9 title fights at the White House UFC event, and that they're, I guess, in quotes, withholding.
Okay,
Dana's
first
holding
of
back
all,
title fights right now.
there's only 8 weight classes. So how's there going to be 9 title fights?
Maybe a BMF fight. Maybe add a BMF. Maybe you have all of them in a BMF.
I guess, but that's kind of a crazy thing. We're going to have 20 title fights. All the title fights there's ever been. Did he say any matchups?
No, he didn't say who. He just said they're gonna. I'll see if there's even like a tweet about it. But I just saw him talking about it. It was like a, I don't know, press conference or something.
And that's not all. Joe Rogan doubled down, insisting that if the UFC truly plans to deliver real, meaningful fights, then this whole 8 to 9 fight lineup idea is downright foolish. He even urged Dana White and Donald Trump to go big and include John Jones on the card. According to Rogan, Jones, who's been out of action for a long stretch, fighting at the UFC White House showdown isn't just exciting, it's something that must happen.
If they don't do John Jones at the White House, I think it'd be a travesty.
For sure.
They
have
need to
to.
do that.
They have to.
Come on. Dana's like, you can't count on him. You can't fucking count on him. Come on, stop.
When he wants to, he's gonna make it happen.
At
for
the
sure.
White House? Come on. John Jones versus, let's see, what does it say here? Donald Trump predicts 8 or 9 championship fights. Okay. It would literally have to be every weight class fighting for the title, which would be everyone's a championship fight. Everyone's a legendary type of fighter. Yeah, he's actually holding back fights right now for 6 months so he can do it in the 15th of June.
Then we have Islam Makhachev, who has completely shut down the criticism coming from fighters like Ian Gary regarding his choice of Kamaru Usman for the next title defense. Speaking on the matter, Islam made it clear that there's no better opponent right now than Kamaru, neither Morales, Prates, nor Ian Gary, whom he referred to as newcomers not yet on Usman's level. In Islam's view, a fight with Kamaru Usman would not only be competitive, but would also create the kind of massive build-up fans want, a true pound-for-pound clash.
Кто в идеале твой следующий соперник?
Ну, я на интервью говорил, что с Усманом хочу подраться. Ну, что-то медиа не верит в этот бой, я смотрю. Но мое личное мнение, Усман переедет этих всех пацанов, которые сейчас новые появились там. Тот же Моралес, тот же вот этот Пратес ударник. Это пацаны не проверенные еще. И я думаю, что Усман не самый тяжелый бой был бы для меня. И в медийном плане мы смогли бы, как бывший чемпион, больше всего защит в моем весе. И мы смогли бы как-то хорошо продвинуть этот бой и показать тоже красивый бой.
Islam Makhachev also made it clear that he has no plans to move to another division. Staying at welterweight, he intends to wait for the UFC to offer his next fights. Many are also speculating about a possible UFC White House showdown for Makhachev. He shared the tension he felt while fighting JDM, but emphasized that after defeating him, he now feels confident that he can beat anyone in the division.
UFC должны предложить скоро. Я сказал, если им бы не было без разницы, потому что я чувствую, что я смогу долго в этом весе себя пояс сохранить и себя там комфортно чувствовать. Я еще в этом бою, можно сказать, был скованным, потому что Не знал, как будет состояние на 5 раундов, не знал я, как буду себя чувствовать вообще в бою, как будут мои силовые показатели соперника, как я буду чувствовать. Из-за этого бой чуть был таким скованным. Я думаю, в последующем я уже знаю, что я на 5 раундов смогу с любым подраться, я буду чуть больше рисковать, чуть по-другому вести бой.
Another major story involves Sean O'Malley's recent criticism of Petr Yan for not agreeing to fight him. O'Malley claims Yan is simply avoiding him, sharing personal messages he received from Tim Welch as proof. He slammed Yan for ignoring his call-out and openly disregarding him without any reason. According to O'Malley, any excuse Yan gives only reinforces his belief that Yan is avoiding a real challenge, and that makes him even more determined to defend his belt by taking the fight.
And Tim showed me this morning. He said they asked like Peter if you would give me a rematch if I beat Song, whatever. And Peter goes, starts laughing. And every time Peter's been asked about me in a rematch, even before this, he's avoided it. I'm not saying Peter Yan's scared of me by any means.
He's ducking.
But why? He says I'm not deserving or I'm not good enough or whatever. Wouldn't that be a great reason to defend the belt? Wouldn't you want to fight I fought Cheeto. Like, why wouldn't you want? He said Merab and Umar could rematch. There's that. I don't know. Me and Sai, yeah. I gotta go get through Song.
As for Petr Yan, he hasn't forgotten his loss, which remains one of the lowest points in his career, and he's still criticizing the UFC judges for their favoritism. He claims that in that fight, Sean O'Malley actually lost, but the UFC awarded the victory to their favored fighter to keep him in the limelight. Yan even went as far as calling O'Malley a UFC-favored chicken who benefited from a decision that was, in his view, clearly wrong.
Он проиграл тут бой со мной 100%. UFC вытащили свою курицу за уши. Где он сейчас?
You know, when we had that fight in Abu Dhabi, he 100% lost that fight. It was UFC's decision to give him the victory. They pulled the chicken that they wanted up to be the victor. Where is he now?
At the same time, Petr Yan has openly dismissed Sean O'Malley's claims that he is avoiding him. He made it clear that revenge is still on his mind, and he wants to secure a victory over O'Malley. However, Yan believes the way O'Malley is presenting things is misleading. He emphasized that while he feels the urgency, he's waiting for the UFC to make the final decision. And if they're ready to put the fight on the table, he's more than eager to take on the challenge and claim his revenge.
Если все же UFC придет к тому, что они захотят этот бой организовать, то почему нет?
If the UFC decides that they want to put that fight back together, why not?
Meanwhile, discussions about Petr Yan's next title defense are heating up. Ariel Helwani suggested that Merab Dvalishvili immediately deserves a rematch with Yan. The reason is simple. Dvalishvili's legacy in the division, having consistently fought 4 times a year, makes a strong case in favor of giving him another shot at the title.
If anyone deserves another crack, an immediate rematch, and again, that might not be Jan's next fight, but the next time he comes back should be for the belt. I feel very, very strongly about that. Do you guys agree or disagree?
I don't have a strong feeling on it, if I'm being honest, but even seemingly with how one-sided the fight was, you still feel that it has to be. Like, I'd be okay
if
if
first fight was one-sided too.
It has Jan's next fight was not a rematch. It was not to fight him again.
But that was Jan on a 3-fight losing streak at that point. This is Merab Dvalishvili, who was racking up title defenses, who just fought for you 4 times, 4 title defenses this year. I mean, look at Alex Pereira last year, and he fights Magomed Ankalaev, he loses, he gets the immediate rematch. I think Merab Dvalishvili has earned that. He's one of the greatest bantamweights of all time. He already has a win over this. It's 1-1 now with Petr Yan. I would like to see a rematch. I'd like to see it on a, Merab who's got rested, who's healed from injuries and is revved and ready to go.
Another hot topic has been Arman Tsarukian getting pulled from a fight, and Islam Makhachev didn't hold back in criticizing the UFC for not giving him a title shot. Being very frank, he admitted that what he's about to say might annoy the UFC, but he believes it's the truth. A fighter like Arman Tsarukian being sidelined for a year despite deserving a title shot is simply nonsense. Islam thinks the UFC needs to reconsider their matchmaking decisions and stop overlooking top contenders in the division.
Тебе ситуация в легком весе, и с Арманом в частности.
А то, что дали это Гейчи, да, конечно. Не знаю, пусть организация обижается, но сейчас все больше непонятных боев для меня. Я не знаю, я думаю, конечно, что Арман должен был драться за пояс. Но, не знаю, сейчас если Арман, будем честны, Арман сейчас не подерется. Подерется Пинглет с Гейджи, кто бы из них не выиграл, подерутся с Тапури. Это еще год должен нормально выстраивать. Не знаю.
Another storm brewing in the MMA world involves recent accusations by Khamzat Chimaev, and responses from Alex Pereira have also surfaced. In a recent ESPN interview, Chimaev called Pereira his desired opponent, but took shots at him for supposedly running away. He believes Pereira's perception of his own standing in the UFC and in real life is completely wrong. Chimaev even suggested that Pereira knows how tough it would be to face someone like him, which is why he's scared. He also thinks this fear was the reason Pereira turned down his fight with Derek Duplessis after seeing how dominant Chimaev was in his previous bout.
Because everyone knows this guy is not my level, so he's a good striker, one of the best strikers. I give the respect for him. He has knockout power and everything. But brother, like ask whoever 99% in the world who's watching UFC, so they're gonna tell you who is gonna win. He knows it. He knows that's why he's running away. Why accept a fight against Duplessis? Why he not accept a fight against me? I beat Duplessis, like I destroyed the guy 5 rounds, but he's saying like I'm not famous. Was Duplessis famous than me? Duplessis has like I don't know. He has like 100 views of his Instagram.
But the drama doesn't stop there. In a recent video, Michael Bisping, Alex Pereira's coach, challenged Chimaev, insisting that he's ready to put his reputation on the line if Chimaev truly thinks he can take on Pereira. For Pereira's team, the current focus is on bigger fights, with matchups like John Jones being the ultimate goal.
Apparently Pereira and his coach Glover Teixeira said that when they see Hamza in a hotel or something, it's gonna go down. This is according to Hamza.
We want John Jones, big name. But Chimaev fight that guy there. If he fights that guy, I'll bet my house on it. I'm retired, Chimaev, but I'm around. You mess with me in the lobby of the hotel, anywhere you see me. You mess with me, I snatch the life right out of you, man.
But he said, bro, I don't need a hotel. You need to come to the UFC. You have a contract. If you want to fight, let's go. Now, let's just talk about this real quick because Hamza says that he wants to fight Alex Pereira.
Michael Bisping addressed Khamzat Chimaev's claims about Alex Pereira, acknowledging that stylistically there would be challenges for Pereira in a fight against Chimaev, given that Khamzat is a force of nature and an exceptional fighter. However, Bisping also condemned the idea of underestimating Pereira in any way. In his view, if Chimaev has a chance, Pereira arguably has double that. A landing one clean punch could turn the fight instantly. This is the unpredictability of MMA, and Bisping's main point to Chimaev was clear: never underestimate Alex Pereira.
Big fight against Alex Pereira, we're talking $5 or $6 million. So it's almost a 2 for 1. And I get that. And of course, taking on Alex Pereira and beating him. And yeah, maybe stylistically, it could be a problematic matchup for Alex Pereira. But we've seen him beat these kind of guys before. And you're a fool if you bet against Alex Pereira. Listen, we know that one shot from Alex Pereira can render you unconscious. And there's a good chance, you never know. Maybe he lands on Alex Pereira. But if we talk about the landscape a little bit, it is kind of interesting because you've got Alex Pereira that doesn't want to fight in the light heavyweight division.
But here's the thing, Michael Bisping highlighted that the recent response from Alex Pereira's coach to Khamzat Chimaev makes their intentions very clear. He called on Chimaev to set the record straight, emphasizing that it's not about running away, but about pursuing bigger opportunities. According to Bisping, Pereira is focused on a potential fight with John Jones at the UFC White House Showdown, which is a matchup he's even more interested in than facing Chimaev. Furthermore, Bisping shared his thoughts on the UFC White House event itself, calling it exciting but criticizing the structure, noting that stacking so many fights doesn't align properly with divisions and weight classes.
Is Chimaev coming up or anybody else? He's got his sights set firmly on John Jones fighting at the White House, and if he doesn't fight John Jones at the White House, he wants to fight for the heavyweight title, which is interesting because John Jones does want to come back. I think they are going to put that fight on at the White House. Donald Trump came out yesterday and said that the fight at the White House is going to be insane, and they're going to do like 8 or 9 different title fights.
And they're going to have 8 or 9 championship fights, the biggest fights they've ever had. Everyone's a championship fight.
Which I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, far be it for me to go against the 47th president of the United States of America, but there's only 11 divisions. So I don't think there's going to be 8 or 9 title fights, but hey, it is going to be an insane card from start to finish.
Veteran fighter Matt Brown has weighed in on the potential matchup between Jon Jones and Alex Pereira, calling it a nightmare matchup for Pereira. Brown explained that Jones's size, reach, and wrestling pedigree make him an incredibly difficult opponent for anyone, even a striker of Pereira's caliber. While Pereira is known for his devastating knockout power, Brown believes that Jones's all-around skills, from striking to grappling, could neutralize Pereira's strengths and make it a very challenging fight. This insight adds more fuel to the speculation surrounding a possible UFC White House showdown, highlighting just how tough the path would be for Pereira against one of the sport's greatest fighters.
Competitive fight, or do we just want Jon Jones back for a big fight? Because those are two different things.
That's exactly my point, right? I want the competitive fight. I think hardcore fans, but that goes exactly right into what I was saying, right? Do we want entertainment? Because what Alex and Jon is going to do is have a ridiculous build-up, right? Like, where everybody's going to be pumped. There's going to be people betting on Alex. There's going to be people, you know, just like Conor going and fighting Floyd, right? There's going to be people like, oh yeah, Conor's got a chance. I think Alex has a better chance than Conor did against Floyd, by the way. But you get my point, right? Like, the matchup is literally the nightmare matchup for Alex Pereira. Like Jon is as big, probably bigger. I think probably a little bit bigger than Alex Pereira, a heavyweight, certainly bigger.
The comeback of Jon Jones has been speculated about for a long time, and he has personally expressed his desire to fight for a title. With the UFC White House showdown looming, Matt Brown commented that Jones has one of the toughest potential matchups in Alex Pereira. However, he doubts that Pereira's wrestling ability is at the level required to challenge someone of Jones's caliber. Still, whether the matchup is considered for entertainment value or competitive relevance, Matt Brown believes that if it's meant to deliver excitement, like the UFC White House event, then Alex Pereira would be the ideal opponent for Jon Jones, and the fight should happen.
A million times better wrestler. Like, there's no possible way in hell that Alex, you know, his wrestling is to Jon Jones's level at this point. Even if Jon Jones is out doing cocaine for the last year and then just shows up and fights, Jon comes back, he has to fight Tom Aspinall. There's no other good fight to make. And again, but then you kind of get into the debate of, is this a sport or is it entertainment, right? Entertainment wise, you know, which I think we talked about a little bit about the White House card period. You know, is this going to be a, you know, make the biggest fights you can, or, you know, make relevant fights? And if you're making the biggest fight you can, you go with Alex Pereira, Jon Jones, 100%.
That's the latest MMA chaos, from Rogan roasting Trump to O'Malley calling out Yan and Pereira firing back at Chimaev. The fight world is never short on drama. If you love the updates, hit that like button, subscribe to Boxism, and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest MMA stories.